If a police chief coordinates a no-knock house raid and they go the wrong house, they should be charged with whatever happens. Like breaking and entering, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, first-degree murder, terrorism, etc. The coordinating police chief in charge of the raid should be held responsible for whatever happens. Thanks for the awards. Glad we're on the same page. True that. It works that way for criminals. Example, myself and another break into a house and are armed. The homeowner confronts us. I run and hear gunshots. A little while later I am picked up by the police and find out not only my friend was murdered, but I am now charged with said murder. No-knock raids and normal clothes raids should be made illegal. There is no logical way a police officer who is undercover with street clothes who enters your house without knocking can be interpreted in any other way than a home invasion. How is this unpopular? This subreddit just upvotes popular opinions. Before 1982 in the US they would have been. That year the Supreme Court established qualified immunity, which determined that police were protected from liability for honest mistakes. This has been expanded by lower courts to immunize incompetence, malfeasance, and downright criminality. Courts only allowed lawsuits if there was a prior incident declared to be unconstitutional, not illegal. Unconstitutional, how a crime by police authority could be considered constitutional is left as an exercise for the victim. The Supreme Court is hearing several cases this year that will examine the doctrine, hopefully overturning it. Edit, stupid autocorrect. But the police investigate themselves, and the conclusion is they did nothing wrong. All is well. /s. This should not be in r/unpopular opinion. Edit. Gold. Thank you so much. No-knock raids should be illegal in the first place. Edit. Lots of good comments. If anything, no-knock raids should be used by highly trained teams like SWAT, DIA, FBI, etc. They should not be left up to local police who have no experience doing them. They absolutely need to make sure they have the right house, and if they kill any innocent people they need to be charged accordingly. How is this unpopular? The homeowner shouldn't be charged if they kill an officer either. But then you'd disincentivize the police from sending armed units against civilians in the dead of night with the intention of violence without being absolutely certain that, oh, actually yeah, your suggestion does sorta make sense. Alongside this, in the event that a no-knock raid occurs and it is discovered that the raid occurred on the wrong house, or that the warrant was granted mistakenly, the occupants of the home should be given full legal immunity for all actions that occurred during the course of the break-in. At that point, we would now know that this was not a legal procedure being carried out but a full-on breaking and entering, and US citizens should have a right to protect themselves and their family from harm in that circumstance. How the fuck would you get the wrong address? Dude, first of all, that's definitely no unpopular opinion. Second thing is, everybody says that and it's known and being said since years, so it's nothing new and no secret at all. The problem is that the system is set up in a way that they essentially can do whatever they want with no repercussions. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. /ahem/. Welcome to r/unpopular opinion, where. Wait, that's not right. Most people agree with this. Cops must always be held to the higher standard, not the lower. They should not be allowed to do no-knock raids for any house that has potential innocent persons inside, especially children. And they should be forced to verify this before the raid, which they can do through proper surveillance. And really, no-knock raids should be prohibited for nonviolent crimes, IMO. Prosecution is difficult, but I'm a huge fan of a civil board that would do an in-depth inquiry into any police-caused damage to the community. Popular opinion. Better yet, end the war on drugs, so cops can stop playing army. People who seek the thrill of gunfights are the last ones that we should have out there raiding houses of people who they suspect of committing victimless crimes. I've never met a single person who doesn't believe police should be held accountable for the actions. Problem is that police are a gang, and like all the other gangs, it's impossible to eradicate an idea or way of life. People saying police are just human and make mistakes like anyone else and just deserve to be fired or a minor offense, but here's the thing, in any other job if your incompetence and negligence gets someone seriously injured or killed you are in some seriously deep shit. You are lucky if you only get fired from it. Why do police get a special exemption from this basic accountability? Well, if the chief orders their officers to go to 212 Smith Street but they go into 211 Smith Street, that is hardly his fault, but I agree with the overall message. If you break into the wrong house, uninvited, no warrant, then you are breaking the law. Just because you have a police uniform on doesn't mean anything. You are essentially a burglar in a costume at that point. If an officer is breaking the law in the course of their duty, their title should not supersede their actions. But sir, I went to the wrong house and killed those children unironically. Police, probably. No-knock raids can be vital in hostage situations. If you have a chief doing bad coordination, he needs to be fucking fired. I completely agree. They should be convicted of manslaughter. In this lady's case, they didn't have the wrong house. Not unpopular. Then you learn that 90% of police raids don't produce any drugs of any kind. I think if the police conduct a no-knock raid, even if it's the right house, and the resident of the house shoots and kills a police officer, the resident should not be charged with violence against a police officer. If the resident is not aware that they are police, he is awakened in the night, probably panicked and confused, men are breaking into his home. He shoots and kills a man who he believes to be a potential threat to his safety. How can that man be charged for protecting himself and his home if he isn't aware that the men are police? /r/unpopular opinion is the single most broken subreddit. The point is, people are supposed to post unpopular opinions, and we're supposed to upvote if it's unpopular enough, downvote if it's actually popular. Instead we have people posting popular opinions, and people upvoting if they agree with it, and downvoting if not. 100% the opposite.